You know, Jazzwares has been regarded as the best Sonic Master Toy partner for a long time, but nowadays the shift has slowly turned towards Jakks Pacific. Jakks Pacific is an American toy company founded in 1995, and is well known for their Nintendo toy line. And in 2019, it was announced that they would be the next Master Toy partner for Sonic the Hedgehog, after Tommy's run with the franchise. So in today's video, I'll go over the many things they made throughout the years, so strap in because it's gonna be a long one. So with that being said, let's go. On August 1st, 2019, they kickstarted the toy line with a set of bendable figures. The set consisted of 4 figures which would stay the same throughout the future waves. It had a thumbs up Sonic with a Knuckles spinnable disc, Tails with an Amy spinnable disc, Knuckles with a Tails disc, and then Shadow with a Sonic disc. For being the first wave of figures they've made, these look really good. Sure, their movement can be limited, but the scope on these is really game accurate, and the discs have the GBA sprites, which is always good to see. Somewhere in 2019, they also released a little series of Sonic boosters. There was a Classic Sonic, Classic Tails, Classic Knuckles, Classic Mighty, the first Mighty figure, Classic Ray, also the same case for him, and then a Classic Metal Sonic. These all went along with a separate playset. Being themed around Green Hill, this pinball track set would launch the ball through a little obstacle course. The figures don't really look that good, but this little set is a pretty good toy, but I guess it didn't sell well since we would never see these come back. The last release of 2019 was a plush wave, and right off the bat these are pretty clear that they wouldn't be your average Sonic plush. These are very stylized, and I'm a big fan of these designs. The set was a classic wave that had Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Eggman. I actually own 3 of these and I gotta say they're pretty high quality. The fabrics, the embroidery, these look really good. And for being $9.99 USD, these are really great. And also the figures were the same price. The boosters were $5.99 and the playset was $24.99. But that's all the releases for 2019. So let's see what 2020 brought for us. In the following year, on January 22nd, we saw the release of the second wave for the bendable figures. It consisted of a re-release of the Sonic and a re-release of the Tails disc, a Metal Sonic with a Shadow disc, and there was also a Super Sonic with a Sonic disc, though there was a problem when this first came out. If you couldn't tell, Sonic doesn't have the right color arms, though eventually they would revise it and fix the arm color. Then lastly, there was an Eggman with, get this, an E102 Game Eye disc. This wave was decent, though I still prefer the first wave. Something about it just felt more polished, but this set is still pretty good. The next month, on February 26th, they would make some merchandise for the Sonic movie that came out a week before, though they would use the old designs for 2 of the products. The first was a Spin Dash Sonic, having this lovely Sonic figure inside. The point of this was to launch Sonic into a cutout of Robotnik's ship. Overall, very simple toy. Then there's a Baby Sonic plush that I happily own. I really like this plush even if it's based off the old design, though this is one of the worst Sonic plushes in some people's eyes. And then lastly, the 13-inch Talking Sonic. That is actually based off the new design. This plush is okay, but I don't really like it. Most of the details are printed on. It's not really my favorite. In July, they would release the 3rd and final wave of the Sonic Bendy figures. They were all variants showing Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Shadow playing sports. Sonic playing soccer for Green Hill, Tails playing volleyball for Starlight Zone, Knuckles playing basketball for Angel Island, and then lastly Shadow playing soccer for Studiopolis Zone. And like I said, these are the last Sonic Bendy figures they made, at least new ones. Though finally in the same month, they would debut the 4-inch articulated figures, with each figure having at least 11 points of articulation, a far better number than Tommy's figures. The scope and the paint on these looks amazing. They really look like they were pulled straight out of the games. The last thing in July was Wave 2 of the plushes. Classic Super Sonic, Amy, and Mighty were the new plushes introduced in the set. We got the first Mighty plush, along with the second ever Classic Super Sonic plush, and these plushes kept up the great quality that came with the last wave, though get ready to see Sonic a lot. In August we saw a new series of toys which are the 2.5-inch figures. The first wave was pretty good. The coolest ones in my opinion are Metal Sonic and a Child with Rings, and for being this small these look really good. And they also have 5 points of articulation. Along with this, there was also a playset for these figures. It's a simple little diorama set that comes with a few items to put around. And then the coolest release for August was the Jumbo Sonic and Tails plushes. Being 20 inches, these are the most accurate Sonic and Tails plushes I've ever seen. They have Velcro on the hands so they can connect to each other. In September we would see Wave 2 in the 4-inch line. There was a Sonic variant, a Tails re-release, a Knuckles, and a Metal Sonic. And then also Wave 3 of the plushes, with it just being re-releases of past plushes. In October there was a single release, which was Wave 2 in the 2.5-inch figure line, with it being a pretty goated wave. Supersonic, Shadow, and Eggman made their first appearance in the 2.5-inch figure form. And then shortly after in November we saw Wave 3 in the 4-inch line. There was 2 re-releases, but 2 new figures, with us finally getting an actual proper Mighty figure. And then lastly in December we saw Wave 3 in the 2.5-inch figure line, with us getting 4 new characters, with one of them being Gold Shack! So far Jakks' run of the franchise is pretty good. The 4 and 2.5-inch figures are doing great, and the plushes are doing so too. I have to say, out of the many Master Toy partners, I think Jakks had the best first year out of any of them, so it's safe to keep it up in 2021. 2021 was a big year for Sonic the Hedgehog, since it was the 30th anniversary of the franchise, so let's see what Jakks cooked up for this year. In January they re-released the last products that had the bendy figures in them, with them being little dioramas slash packs. There was a Sonic in a spinning box, a Sonic and Knuckles face-off pack, and then a Sonic with a gold medal, only notable one being this one, since this is the only one to have a new thing. In February there was Wave 4 in the 4-inch line, with us getting introduced to the classic Sonic and a Super Shadow figure. It was also Wave 4 for the plushes, with us getting modern Eggman and strangely a cheese plush. And of course there's a Sonic and Tails re-release. One of the cooler things to come out this year was this, the Sonic collectible figure, with it being really similar to Tommy's figure. This is a big Sonic that had 11 points of articulation, an interchangeable mouth, eyes, and hands. In April we got the 4.5 wave in the 4-inch. I say 4.5 because it's just re-releases of past figures, but now without the Go Sega logo. And then I did another re-release set with now with new packaging, but these are the 30th anniversary packaging. July brought us a revised Green Hill playset, with it having 30th anniversary packaging, and then a diorama set that looks to have Studiopolis items. And this would make more sense in August, when they released the Studiopolis playset. Wave 4 for the 2.5-inch line gave us a Shrugging Sonic variant, and a new silver figure. We also got an Eggman robot battle set, featuring the Sonic 2 final boss as the robot. You would launch Sonic into the chest of the bot, and then it would break into pieces. Speaking of Sonic 2, we also got this awesome 4-inch figure pack, with us getting classic Sonic, Eggman, and a Mecha Sonic. It's really cool that they actually made this instead of making a classic Metal Sonic. Also, the 4-inch line got Wave 5, Laughing Sonic based off the artwork, the single card Mecha Sonic, and then Mighty and Classic Eggman were the figures we got, and they were really cool. And then lastly for August we got the Diecast Vehicles, which is a little series that has small Sonic figures and their cars from the racing games. In September we saw the release of a little wave of figures. They took the 2.5-inch figures and put them in a bigger box, with them also having accessories, though they're just re-releases. Another thing that involves the 2.5-inch figures is this. These are new versions of them that are now sold in checkout lanes in stores, like the biggest example being Walmart check lanes. But there wasn't just one wave, there was 2, with the only new figure out of 10 being Motobug. There was also Wave 6 in the 4-inch line. 3 of them are re-releases, but now they're all blacklight variants, with us only getting one new figure, which is Amy. These weren't really that well liked because they're just easy recolors, and Amy had an awful expression. October gave us Wave 5 for a 2.5-inch, with us getting new characters like Chili Dog Sonic, Mighty, and then a Buzz Bomber. The next wave of plushes was pretty good, or I'm sorry, just one good plush. The Sonic sucked. There was also a pack of vehicles from before. In December we got 3 waves of the checkout lane figures, with them all being characters we already got, with only 2 of them being new, which is Classic Tails and the Crab Meat. The Studiopolis playset got a normal box, and then there was a 2.5-inch multi-pack. Then somewhere in 2021 there was this comic style Sonic plush. It came in a cool box and took the Jumbo Sonic and made it this very cool looking variant.